Welcome everyone, this is Loki Lord, and today I'm going to show you how to use GasCraft. So GasCraft is an addition to the mod Engineers Toolbox, and Engineers Toolbox is absolutely required for GasCraft to work. And also I recommend you having either thermal expansion, or applied logistics, or buildcraft, or anything installed that can transfer liquids over pipes or cables. So I have been watching on the wiki and some other tutorials, and they don't seem to explain this good enough to me, and so I'm going to explain everything detailed on how to configure the Engineers Toolbox properly to extract the gas, to make the gas, and so on. So let's get started then. So in the world we'll spawn two blocks. One is craftable and the other one will spawn in Nether. And the craftable one is the chimney. It's made out of 4 brickstones. Yeah, and you use that to make smoke. The next one over here is the shale gas. It's the basic thing we need for every other gases later. This is the oil. We need that to, for example, make fuel in a gas turbine or reactor or whatnot. And this is the nether plasma gas, well, which we will come back to later too. Let's get started. So to make basic gas, we need a fracker and water. So what we do is we find the shale gas or the shale oil, but we need the gas of course, on bedrock level of the world. It's not that often you find it, it's not that rare either. So you just have to find it anywhere, and then you just gotta do as I do. The first thing you will get hand of is on a modular socket, a socket remote, a fluid input, a fluid output. I will use a tank interface and where is it? The fracker module. There it is. First thing we do is we place down the module socket in the air to configure it properly. Because we have to put the fracker module on bottom, we have to also configure with the remote how it works. We input, output, and tank in front. So we start configuring the fluid input first, so it shows 0 on Vial. Here it should be the first and the first spot. Then we configure this one to the second one, and even if this here is green that says items, it's still blue. You can imagine it to be blue, so you have to put it on the second spot, so it shows a 1. Same on here, because these two connect to each other, just so you know. So let's put the tank on the second one to see the output, and then we need to get hand of a branch, whatever that branch is, or you want it to be. I use the crescent hammer, shift right click, pick it up, place it down. Then you get hold of a creative tank, or I'm sorry, you don't have to get hold of a creative tank because it's creative. So you need to get hold of ton loads of water. So I recommend making it with some aqueous accumulators, a water farm, whatever you want to make with it. But yeah, I'm using a creative tank for this instance. So we just put down the ducts, output and input, output the water. As you can see, it's making or extracting the gas from this block. It's so fast exported that we don't see it happen to fill this tank. If you put it on the first one, the water is used up very quickly, and the tank here is filling, as you can see a Vial up there, very fast. So yeah, this is how you basically get the natural gas, the shale gas, and frack it. So yeah, that is how you frack the normal gas. Let's work up to the next gas, and that is propellant gas. In a refinery, you refine natural or shale gas into propellant gas. So let's start on. We need a module socket, a fluid input, a crescent hammer, of course, a socket remote. We need the gas, so we get that from how we extracted it. I just use a gas vial and a tank for it. And you need a machine output this time, not a fluid output. I don't know why that differs, but yeah, machine output. And then we need the refinery module. Okay, place it down. get the ducts, not now, fluid input, and the machine output, put the refinery, and since it's a refinery, it will need power. So I take a solar panel for this instance. So yeah, and then we configure it to be water. Those two have to match, so it's water input and gets in there. Then this has to alter, so it has to be on the second spot. And since it's only refining and doing nothing else, we don't need any item input, we only do the output for now. So we get the creative tank, the gas, and it has power, so we only output, and it's refining into propellant gas, as you can see here. Nice contrast, nice blue. Very nice. So that's how you make propellant gas. Let's keep up with the next thing, and that is hydrogen. Hydrogen is made out of algae and water in a photobioreactor. So let's move up. So we get some algae, and you will find algae everywhere around the world. So you see it everywhere where there is water. Yeah, so let's move up. We get a photobioreactor module. Put it on top. We'll input a machine output, ducts, tanks, and we need water. Okay. Define input, define the output, take the socket remote, connect these together, this on the second slot, so it has a 1 or a 2, basically a 1, input the fluid, output the fluid, put in water, and we also need to put in the algae, so I take an inventory interface. However, you can use an item input if you want to do that, but I just use the inventory interface instead. Put in the items first. Let's configure it 1 and 1 2, so then match, and put on the algae. As you can see, it will not. Oh yeah, sorry. There it is. And you will see it will turn green, and when it's done, it will turn blue back again, and it will turn green unless you're either out of water or you're either out of algae. And when it turns blue in that microsecond and turns back green again, you will even see it happen just very quickly. There it was right now, and you will see that the tank will fill with hydrogen. So yeah, this is how you make hydrogen. So let's move up to the next gas. There it is. Okay, the next gas over here we have is smoke, and smoke is basically produced very easily. I recommend making smoke as a side product rather than focusing on making smoke, because if you make it as a side product, it will just happen because you furnace it. If you make it as a main product, you will just burn up stuff unneeded. So I recommend making it as a side product. Since I'm also using Engineers Toolbox, I'm using modules for this instead, so I need a fluid output, tank interface, a socket remote, and I need a where is it? A fluid extractor. You can also use pipes. I'm not sure if that works. I haven't tested it yet. So yeah, we just start off making this instead. Put down a fluid extractor on bottom, fluid output on the right, front, left, top, or back. That's your decision. So I just put it on the right instead. Then put the tank interface there, and so yeah, and we just go and pick this up, place it down, just delete it, and I goofed. I have to configure it as I forgot. So it's fluid mode first, and first. There's only one tank, so it has to match. Yeah. Okay, and then we just put in what we want to burn up, and cool. And as you can see, we'll where is the tank? It will then make smoke. There, it filled up right now. take an output, take a tank, and it will fill into this tank, or wherever you want to store it, like an E extra cell system, or wherever you want it to be. That's your decision. I am not going to choose that for you. So yeah, but this is how you make smoke. Move up to the next one. Clear the inventory. So for the next thing, we will have to need a mixer module, and we need propellant gas and gunpowder. Let's start up. We need the modular socket, a fluid input, socket remote. Then we need the mixer. Let's find it. There it is, the mixer module. A machine output. There it is. We need gunpowder, and we need propellant gas. There it is. So, fluid input, fluid output, the mixer module, and as always, do not forget the power. So we get us a solar panel because I don't have to wire up anything. And there are already dirt. There we go. We get us the terminal expansion stuff back. Okay. Oh yeah, and also configure this first, as I always forget. And also we need the inventory interface on this to input items. Use the backside for this. So we configure the fluid first. In, out, in, and in for items. Put in the gunpowder. Put up the fluid ducts. The input, the output, and then we get us a crescent hammer. And configure to output, and as you will see, it will then mix up the gunpowder and the propellant gas to get into toxic gas. This is how we make toxic gas though. So see, there's a little contrast in here. The gas is already filling up. So yeah, this should go faster than a photobioreactor. And also, by the way, the photobioreactor needs sunlight. As it's photo, it will need sunlight. Yeah. When that is done, we just move up to the next thing, and that will be the deadly neurotoxin. The neurotoxin is very, as it already says in the title, it's deadly. And to make it, we use a photobioreactor again. We get of course, a modular socket, a fluid input, a machine output, and a inventory interface, as we need to put something else in there. And yep, that's it. So let's start configuring it. Input, output, inventory interface, and photobioreactor. Socket remote, tanks, and we need for this we need toxic gas. It has to be made into the deadly neurotoxin. So yeah, let's start configuring this. So we need the item input, fluid input, and fluid output. Let's see. Toxic in there. And the items, I always forget this. We of course need not gunpowder, we need super algae. Yay, super. So with super algae, it has to be bread or something. I haven't made super algae yet in survival, so but you put it in and you will see the photobioreactor turn green again. So, and that can take some time to process it. So you should probably make more of those modules in a row to make the deadly neurotoxin faster, unless you have a lot of patience to wait for. So yeah, I mean, you already see Vial on top of my screen, deadly neurotoxin. So if we put some deadly neurotoxin in there instead, and instead of waiting, it will just be purple. Netherite purple. Looks very nice. Yeah. Okay, let's move up to the next thing, and the last thing for the overworld. With a mixer, propellant gas, and quicklime, we make corrosive gas. So let's get some quicklime. A module socket, inventory interface, a mixer module, machine input, output, a fluid input, and then the socket. Press down, and also again we need power for this, as this is a module that requires power from us. So yeah, fluid input, machine output, inventory interface. Okay, fluid in, fluid out, item in, item in. You can at any time pause the video to see how I configure this, as it's not easy always to configure this correctly. Sometimes you will fail at doing it, so you can just pause the video and look it over. So yeah, and we just go get the propellant gas and make it output, and you will see it will mix up into corrosive gas. Has a nice texture, it's very bright. You can use that. You can use it as a window even if you want to. So yeah, that is how you make corrosive gas. And the last thing is how to get nether plasma, and that is something you have to fracture with lava instead, and you can only find it in a nether. So let's TPX to -1. And I spawn in lava, how nice. Well. Let's start here then. Okay, so when you will find in the nether on also bedrock level, I haven't seen it on top level yet. Might happen that it's there, might happen it's not. But I guarantee it's on bottom level, so you will find nether plasma. And with nether plasma, this is absolutely deadly. It would turn anything into ash. So unless instead of being corrosive gas, that will burn down like zombies into skeletons, and anything that is a mob will get turned into skeletons. Basically, the nether plasma will burn them right into ashes, so they will in that way not exist anymore. So let's get us a, where is it, lava. We need lava. We need the shale plasma that we already have, sorry. Then we need the fracker module, a modular socket. Also put it in the air, you have to configure it. Put the fracker module on bottom, fluid input, and for this instance again you will need a fluid output. And a tank module or a tank interface. You don't need it. Again, I only use it so I can see what is going on in there, because I find it better that way. And yeah, we just configure fluid and input, output, and output. And also we want to see what's in there, so we put it on output. Take up the module, place it down, get the ducts, the lava. We'll also need massive lava, so I recommend using an enderic pump from extra utilities or from Engineers Toolbox, because there's also a module for that, so you can use that instead. Yeah, and we need to input output. We already have that either. Okay, so that's all we need. Configure the input and the output. Put in the lava. Put in the tank we want to put the nether plasma in, and we just let it run. And as you can see, it will extract the nether plasma gas from the shale gas block with the lava, of course. And the nether plasma, yeah, is as I already said, very deadly. So how to extract those gases or get those gases to come into the atmosphere is actually quite easy. You can either use a vent or an exhaust. A vent requires you to send in a redstone signal. Once, like a pulse, a button for example, would just only release 4,000 millibuckets for one time and then not continue sending out the gas. And an exhaust will anyhow, how long there is provided, as long as there's provided a gas as input liquid, you will it will output and it will not require any redstone signal. And then we also have the fan, but this is the inverted case. It will take in the gas. So if you make a gas chamber and you do not want to waste that gas, use a fan instead. In a radius of 3 blocks, it can suck in the gas. So yeah. So let's try I use an exhaust for this instance, and in the nether plasma would be even better to use. You can also use it right from the vial, but then it won't. Yeah, if you use it right from the vial, this won't work anymore. Then it will just get emptied out. Tank and a fluid input, module socket, fluid input, a exhaust. Configure both on the same line. I see there's a redstone signal down there, but maybe you can turn it off instead of on. So it's on constantly unless you configure it with a redstone signal. Might be okay. So I just configured this, and we need a crescent hammer. And there you will see it will output the nether plasma, and since it's in the nether, it will burn down everything. Ores will absolutely get molten down, and they might even drop their ingots. As you can see, there's already a nether brick over here, and if this would be under a roof right over here, for example, this would then burn up everything in the roof. And just let's break this creative tab. So yeah, this is what nether plasma does in the nether. In the overworld, it won't burn down the blocks, but it will still cause a lot of damage. And you can make an ore room, for example. It will make them into ingots, and you can use a vacuum hopper, for example, to suck them in or whatnot. Corrosive gas will only make mobs or players will just get huge damage, or at least a lot of damage. Mobs will get turned into skeletons because they will, of course, of corrosive lose their skin. Hydrogen and propellant would not do you any damage, even without the gas mask. Toxic gas will only damage you, and yeah, unless you wear a gas mask, of course. And then the shale gas will also only damage you if you don't wear a gas mask. And also the same with the deadly neurotoxin, just that it makes a lot of more damage than the normal gases do. So let's get back to the overworld. And that was actually already everything that was. I am, by the way, playing on the Resin Rise mod pack. So GasCraft is very useful in Resin Rise, actually, on servers also. So that was actually everything from me. Thank you for watching, and I see you then in my next video, I guess. So bye.